ban here. Banned out every single game this series. But last game we saw a little bit of a change up. We saw the Nunu ban. You saw the Jace ban. Diana left open, not taken.
Yeah, Diana, definitely a cool pick, but I don't know. I think people are kind of hesitant to use her. She did see some really cool play. Again, the only game that I've ever seen Diana, honestly, is Azubu Frost versus Azubu Blaze at OGN. But Frost, they stomped with her, and Diana was a serious, big part of that match. I think the burst damage from Diana is really nice, but the concern, as with any assassin, is that they're diving right into the middle of your team, and you can just kind of burst them down. Banning out the Orianna, that's definitely a nice job by Megashock. Acer, the Orianna pick really worked well with their team.
I was wondering when that was going to happen. I'm also a little bit surprised that didn't happen game number 2. But now Acer, their bread and butter, their mid will not be there. But the Jace still going to be banned here from Acer. Shen taken out as well. And you know what? Zyra left open, but there is the Nunu. First grab, same as game number 1. You love that Nunu. Fantastic in the support role. But there is the Sona, there is the Ezreal open, and Megashock maybe is, there you go. So this is carbon copy so far of game number 1.
Well, and I mean, game number 2, the winner was the Ezreal Sona.
Yes,
So
it was.
Whoever gets the Ezreal Sona wins. Therefore, Megashock's already won. We can all go home.
Stream's over. See you guys later.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how they can turn this around. The big issue is that Nunu, he's a defensive laner. Like, he's a defensive support. You expect to be able to protect your AD carry. If they go with someone like Graves again, they will be very safe. They could go with that Corki again, but it protects your back line. But the issue is if you play against a team that doesn't need to attack your back line, if they're very safe and mobile, like Ezreal and like Zyra and whatnot, like we've seen, that could be kind of difficult for them. So we'll see whether Acer, they could actually pick up Zyra here, since Orianna's banned out. They don't want to allow Megashock to get that Zyra, I don't think. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how they can kind of counter that out.
Right now, Acer, again, they've a very consistent presence here in all 3 games, has been the Lee Sin. And he's been there. He's been a nice little role. Ooh, Ashe coming on in here. That'd be nice. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, I really like the Ashe pick, and we've seen Ashe and Nunu a lot in the past. It's a pretty common matchup. It's a common bot lane.
Curse EU.
Yeah, Curse.
Yeah.
They've run it a couple of times. So it is a pretty common bot lane. We've seen a couple of other teams run it, but it's very strong in lane. You have the range along with the Nunu. You can control the lane against most people. But then outside of lane, you have that range initiation with Ashe. You have the kiting potential that Nunu gives you. Ashe will be very safe. And another cool thing is, like we always kind of point out, with the Blood Boil, you just get so much attack speed so quickly. Ashe, gets up to like 2.2 attack speed very early in her item build.
Yeah, and also, we've been seeing this. We saw this a lot from actually both Curse teams, EU and NA, running that Nunu support. The Zeke's Herald works so amazingly well on top of the Blood Boil.
Yeah, no, that is very strong. So we'll see, how they can handle things. Megashock going with the global team, though, that gives them a lot of kill potential onto Ashe. That's a serious concern for Acer to have that Nocturne with the Karthus follow-up. I would love this Galio pick, though. Here's the concern for Acer right now, or for Megashock right now, is Nunu can kind of control the front line. It'll be difficult for Karthus to get in the middle of the team unless he flashes in. If he flashes in, though, he's going to be able to destroy Ashe, and that's a serious concern. So if they get the Galio, that counters out the Karthus a little bit. If Karthus flashes in on top of Ashe, then Galio can ult. But Gragas is actually a really common counter as well. Gragas is one of the biggest counters against Karthus. Will work very well. You can just kind of knock him out of there. So that'll help counter out some of that initiation that Karthus has.
And also, Galio, Gragas, they both work in these very similar fashions. Galio's like, oh, he's in the middle of a fight. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this Karthus. Gragas, I'm just going to make sure Karthus never gets to that ridiculously fed point. So, either one works, but...
Well, he also has the knockout. So
he's got the knockout.
That's the big thing, is keeping Karthus off of your AD carry.
Yeah, and then staying true with the Renekton, going to keep him there in the top lane. And right now, Megashock, they're gonna change it up here, not choose the Jax top lane, but instead go for the Aurelia and have her try her hand at going up against the massive alligator man.
Well, Aurelia is just the best, or one of the best top laners in the game. Like, Aurelia does very well against almost anyone. Yorick would be a very safe pick as well, so we'll see where they go with this. One of the nice things with the Yorick is they could do a lane swap, so we'll see if they go with that or not. Or if they just decide to have Yorick match up against Renekton. Yorick has an early advantage, but Renekton starts to pull ahead after, once he hits 6 in particular, but, around like level 5.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see where they go with that. But the big thing, the Gragas-Ashe combo is so cool to watch. Like, Ashe, you get the arrow onto someone, then Gragas, knock them back into your team. You can burst people down very quickly.
Yeah.
That can be pretty devastating. So we'll see how Megashock can deal with that.
Or if they can manage to get one of those combos where they actually Gragas ult someone into a straight Ashe arrow. That's always fun. That's always fun to do. Granted, you don't ever plan on that because it's just a lot easier just to get Ashe arrow in first.
They'll run like a mousetrap situation like the game, and they have the Gragas into the Lee Sin kick into the Ashe arrow.
I remember playing that board game when I was a kid, and just we always shook the table would always shake somehow, and that would just screw everything up. Like something would fall, the cage would come down sooner than anyone would expect to. I hated that thing. The thing was a pain in the ass. But Ashe Gragas, an amazing combo. Plus, also, you have the Nunu ult still available here as well. And we mentioned it a little bit before game 1 too. Is that Nunu ult is a fantastic zoning tool as well. As just right there in the middle of the fight, you're a pain to deal with, especially when you have someone like Karthus who needs to actually get in to where he needs to be. That movement slow will actually prevent him quite a bit from actually getting to the objective to get the kill that he wants.
Yeah, no, that is a serious concern with the Karthus, the fact that the Nunu provides that separation. So we'll see what they can do, but they have great kiting potential with Sona and with Yorick, with Ezreal as well. If Yorick can do pretty well in the top lane, having the Yorick-Karthus combo is always kind of a nasty combo for Karthus to just be able to be very aggressive, flash into your back line, and then revive as a ghoul, and then have the double death. So that's going to be really strong, but we'll see how they can do it. If Renekton can get a nice advantage early on once again. Once anyone gets an advantage against Yorick, you can usually bully Yorick out of the lane. That's one of the big concerns with him is he's a very safe lane early on. He can win most lane matchups, but if you fall behind ever on Yorick, it's over. Like, you cannot lane against anyone from then on, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I've actually had a few experiences with Yorick this past weekend, too. I remember I was laning up against a Jax, actually, and he did a really good job of freezing the lane after like a failed attempt at a gank or two, and he just got the farm lead, and it wasn't even a kill, it was just a farm lead, and he's able to actually just start bullying me around. So yeah, that's the thing too. But like you mentioned before, anytime a Yorick is picked, that lane swap situation is always a possibility. We may see it here. I don't think it'd be very likely, but it's always something that needs to be mentioned.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. The nice thing with the lane swap, if they do decide to go for it, is it tends to result in passive play early on. So it will allow Karthus to be safe early on, not have to worry about any aggression into that mid lane. But I don't know. We'll have to see. For the most part, Karthus will be able to farm early on, but once Gragas hits 6, they have to watch out for those kills there. And a lot of it's going to come down to the ganks from Nocturne. But most of the lanes are pretty safe. They could, maybe try and get a kill bot onto Ashe, but I don't know. Generally speaking, Ashe and Nunu is going to be a very safe lane as well.
Yeah, so I may possibly see some aggression coming out from Gragas in the mid. Granted, if you just go ahead, close that gap, and if he gets a godlike barrel, just bring Karthus on forward, have Lee Sin nearby, just for that extra secure. But that's the thing too, is that Karthus, while he's in the mid, while he's farming, he's not the most mobile of guys. So if somehow Lee Sin can actually get in there, something might happen. But then again, you do have the Nocturne, you do have the semi-global, and if he's even remotely nearby, he can come in for that assist.
Yeah, so we'll see where they can go with that. But here we go. Game number 3, Acer versus Megashock. It is 1-1. This is our IPL qualifiers. We'll be able to take a look at this once it loads once again. I'm curious, did any of them run exhaust this game? No.
You got Karthus.
Karthus did, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is pretty common, and that's the big thing, is that Karthus is such a strong anti-carry as far as H-champs go. He really is just looking to completely shut down Ashe. So if he gets the slow onto Ashe and is able to chase her down, it doesn't take a lot. It takes like 3 lay waste nice to kill in a enemy carry as Karthus. And once you hit the slow, it's really easy to hit those. So that's always a concern. We'll see how they can how you can do that.
Yep. But once again, on the AD carries and the support, you have the heal, and then you also have the ignite. So once again, we're going. The AD carries want to be safe, and if the damage is necessary, you can go ahead, throw down the ignite. And Ashe, with the arrows, also with the snowball, with a little bit of help from Nunu. I mean, granted there is a little bit of escape possibility there but Ezreal still has that shift available, and granted Ashe, is still somewhat safe. You don't have quite as much movement. You don't have quite that much of a gap closer there, or just to get away like you would agree. It's like you do have that dash.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue. But Ashe has the range to easily outrange Ezreal. So
Yeah.
Even without that kind of mobility, Ashe should generally be pretty safe. So we'll see how they can handle this. Neither team has any sort of ridiculous level 1, so they're both going to kind of sit back for the most part and allow each other to be defensive. Since both junglers are very strong, there's not really neither of them are going to be affected by any early invades. So we'll see them just kind of set off again, have this little standoff.
And I saw that game number 1. Actually, most of the game, Nocturne's been pretty. Goats has just been pretty safe. He's just more than content, just sit on back. It's like, I just want to get my buffs. I just want to be 4. I just want to make sure that if I go in for these ganks, I want to be a very good presence. No need to rush anything really. And and Lee Sin, very much the same way. And these are the same junglers. Also, all 3 games for both teams.
Yeah, and I mean, they're both very comfortable with their junglers. Nocturne's been a very strong presence, but Lee Sin as well has been able to do some nice things. So we'll see. They're actually both starting off the same sides each time. So Lee Sin, he is going to be able to start off. There's some poke damage from Ezreal. Not a whole lot, but if he can set behind Ashe a little bit, that'll be nice. The movement speed actually could allow Ashe to get some quick damage, though. She hits, her damage. She's going to actually take Ezreal down to like a 3rd HP if she gets off the auto attack, gets off the volley, and he's walking right into her. The quick burst, and they're going to chase him down. He might actually have to use his flash. He's very low. The blood boil as well. They still have the chase. Actually, a couple more attacks. They're going to be able to get it. One more attack and the ignite. Not able to get it. They're not able to force out the heal either.
Wow.
But now Etnix, it's actually the perfect timing. So he has to leave the lane. He's going to fall behind. Ashe trying to get the one last volley and stop. No, can't get the recall. So Ezreal goes back, but he's going to really fall behind early on.
Yeah. I wonder. I'm sure Super Age is like, man, I should have ignited earlier when I had the chance. Even that, with that for a first blood opportunity, just go ahead flash ignite just to get it. Just so you can go ahead and secure that.
I mean, Ezreal probably would have been pretty safe, but if Nunu had done it, then it would have forced the heal or the flash from Ezreal, maybe even both, and that would have been just crushing early on. So, we'll see. He is still a little bit behind, not that significantly. He's coming back in the lane. He missed like 5 creeps as a result. But, he should be okay. The volley and Ashe gets off some quick damage with the movement speed and the range, is able to wear him down a little bit.
But what that does give Acer, though, is they give them the positioning. It allows them to start off a little bit further than the midpoint. It allows them to actually go ahead and get into that further brush and camp out just a little bit to get a little bit more of a positional advantage here onto Megashock as Ezreal's actually returning on into lane. So they have that, and you saw it right now. I mean, granted, Ezreal's back now at full, but the chunk potential there is huge.
Yeah, the burst is definitely very nice. The sustained damage that Nunu and Ashe have will be very nice in that lane. So we'll see. Megashock, they have a very safe lane, though. Like, Ashe isn't going to bully anyone around. Ashe is usually pretty passive. Gragas getting some nice damage on Kaltard already. Will back off. And Lee Sin, once again, we saw this in both the first and second game, has mostly been playing cover for Renekton. So he's watching out to allow them. They're actually tower diving a little bit, so Renekton takes a shot, but will back off. He's able to bully around Yorick a little bit. So Yorick, playing kind of passively, doesn't want to fall behind ever. So he knows Renekton gets ahead pretty quickly, but Etnix, with the flash, actually the Arcane Shift, gets some damage, forces the flash out from Ashe. She will live just barely, and Nunu, stuck in the middle of them, has to flash himself. Etnix is pretty low, but Megashock forcing Acer out of the lane.
That harass coming in from Sun just the last minute does pay off quite a bit. So now the power has shifted here bot lane. Etnix You know, he's like, hey, you may have forced me out early, but I still got some fight in me. I still got some good damage. But with that though, Walpro will be re-entering bot lane with a Doran's Blade, gonna have a little bit more extra damage there. And Steve just playing good support, doing very well, and he'll actually be going back to get some wards also.
Oh, in the meantime, the body slam. Lee Sin coming in. They get the slow, the exhaust, and actually Gragas is close to going down. 7-60 as well. He actually gets the first blood. One more auto attack. Gragas very close to going down. So a nice exchange. They actually lose their double buff though, so that kind of hurts a little bit. But still, the first blood on Lee Sin is definitely worth it.
Yeah, when you have a position like that, when you have when you have two champs actually kill each other, the buffs just vanish into the ether. So no one really gets them in a better situation than what Acer was in Game 1, where they ended up giving that double buff to the top laner. So might as well, in a situation like this, better it go to nobody.
Yeah, and it is interesting to me how Imbasheep's been controlling this lane so far, because recognizing that Renekton's going to be very strong early on, he actually didn't waste any of his mana through the first 5 levels harassing down Renekton at all. He just didn't use it. But now, once Renekton comes back in the lane, he immediately forces him back because he has the mana to just start spamming and being able to spam very quickly. By conserving his mana early on in the lane, he was able to do that and play defensively. So really nice job from him.
Yeah, with that, he will be recalling, but Solly is going to actually go right on into the bush. Ignite going down onto Renekton, but you do have quite a bit of damage there into the York. Reborn throws down the ward. You get the flash. Flash in response gets a slow Q. Something. Reborn. There you go. Kill. Going to take 2 tower shots, but it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, Yorick almost able to get out of there, using the Ghoul to body block for him for a second. So Lee Sin wasn't able to throw off the immediate Q, but really nice job from 760 recognizing that. He was able to get up in there and just with the flash and then going with the slow for the auto attacks, because he knew if he stayed at a distance and tried to just win with his Q, then Yorick would have been able to block it. So, nice job there. Once again, the body slam. Wow. Lee Sin with the shield right on top of him. They get the quick damage. The Q in. Kaltard almost goes down, but Lee Sin has to back out of there. He will be safe. Karthus is only level 5, so no threat there of the kill. But even so, Gragas, he's in nice control of that lane.
Pink Ward coming in from Steve, going to go ahead and take out the coverage there in front of the Dragon. You also got Goats hanging around top lane. Is 6, does have the ult available. Was just playing defense just for a little bit, allowing Imbasheep to actually come on back in and not have his wave actually forced to the tower. So he can still go ahead, get some of his farm. And while he was dead, actually sold his remaining health potions because he had barely just enough to go ahead and finish that tier. He needs that extra mana regen if he wants to go ahead and continue the harass like he was doing before.
Yeah, so that spam ability is definitely going to be very nice for him in that lane. He can bully around Renekton a little bit, but he has to watch out for Renekton's just sheer killing potential if they just go toe-to-toe at it. So we'll see how that lane kind of evens out. Once Ashe hits 6, they could maybe get some kills down here, but Nocturne, he's waiting. He gets the paranoia right onto Ashe. Ashe drops almost immediately. There's the fear on the Super A's as well. The Karthus ultimate, are they going to save it for Karthus? No! They wanted to, but they didn't quite do enough damage.
We saved it for you. We saved your spot in line just for you, and this is what you do to us. Okay, fine, we'll eat it. We'll take it. But yeah, with Megashock, 2 quick kills down bot lane. Ashe's 5 head didn't even have the arrow upper available. Even then, you got Nocturne. He's got the spell shield. It's just fine. So great positioning coming in from Megashock, carving out a nice early lead for himself. They got about a K up already. And Reborn, yeah, he's where he needs to be most of the time, but he unfortunately is just not near bot lane when all that madness is going on. So he's been a good presence down top and mid lane. He just needs to pick up a little bit on bot. Imbasheep getting quite a huge chunk of damage out from Sai with the ult popped, and that's a lot of resources expended from Renekton just to be on equal footing there with Yorick.
Yeah, and that is something you can do with Renekton, though. You can just use your ultimate just as kind of like a heal to stay in lane. Yeah. And so he was getting kind of low. Yorick was slowly wearing him down, taking advantage of that regen and poke. But using that Renekton ultimate just allowed him to get back in the lane. So definitely a nice job there. He's actually recalling, though. So, we'll see what he decides to buy if he starts to get any MR to try and counter out. No, he's going to be staying, actually. So he will stay, and I don't know. We'll see how he can try and turn around that lane.
Ghost looking to grab his second red, so he can go ahead and still be relevant in all of these ganks, so he can go ahead and get that slow on in. Kaltard, the ult is halfway down on cooldown, so he's still got a good minute and a half until it comes back in. And remember, those globals were were nerfed a little while ago, so they're not going to be coming in as often as they used to be. But Reborn, he's actually camping out in mid, trying to get a little bit of damage here. Arrow completely whiffs, but you do also have the barrel up and available, but Warhunter's not going to be using it quite yet.
Yeah, so they will back off. I'm kind of curious whether or not this might be a game that we see Renekton go for like a Bloodthirster build. It looks like he's actually going for that Brutalizer, so that's going to give him some quick burst damage. So that means he's looking to snowball against Yorick. He wants to get some kills early on in that lane. If he can start getting some ganks up there once he finishes the Brutalizer. As opposed to like if he was to go for the Bloodthirster, it would give him the regen so that when Yorick wears him down a little bit, he can keep himself at full health. So
yeah.
You know, we'll see how he decides to continue playing that lane. Right now, it is fairly even, but there is a 1k gold advantage for Megashock. You know, having that Ezreal Sona combo in the bot lane has worked out very well for them.
Yep. But going back to Renekton, I mean, it's not too uncommon to have a Yorick build something like a Glacial Shroud where you will naturally build armor, which it looks like he is actually going to be doing. So having the Brutalizer does negate a little bit of that. You do have that extra armor pen, and the cooldown reduction on someone like Renekton, who just does not use mana, is amazing. It's just amazing to have.
Yeah, no, it's very strong, but because Renekton is all physical based, having that armor will shut down a lot of his damage. So we'll see how you know, they can, or Imbasheep can continue to control that lane. Solly is going to try and harass back Imbasheep here, but he's taking a little bit too much damage. Imbasheep's actually going to turn it around. The stun, he's going to be able to chase the flash out, so he's going to have to back off. In the meantime, Kaltar trying to chase down, Manhunter trying to, or Warhunter trying to chase down Kaltar, gets off some quick burst damage, but that's the nice thing, again, is Gragas. You have the short cooldown, so you can just kind of wear down your lane and then go back to farming.
Yeah, it's a party. I got barrels. It's fine. We've got plenty of them here to go ahead and party with. Reborn with a pink ward of his own. Can we go ahead and clear out some of the wards in front of the dragon? And it looks like Acer, they may actually be looking to mobilize here and try and sneak it real quick. They got some pretty decent ward coverage there.
Oh, they're going for it, though. They want to get this kill behind the turret, and the Gragas ultimate is not up to... Oh, there it is! The Ash Arrow missing. The Sona ultimate, 760 going down underneath the turret. And the Super A's, he throws off his ultimate. He has to flash out of there, though. So a 4v2 turns into a 4v3, and Lee Sin way out of position. Couldn't quite hit the arrow.
But Karthus is coming on down as well. Kaltar, he's got that wall that could be a pretty huge disruption tool. And all of the preparation that Acer was putting in to try and take that dragon is going to be serving them very well as they watch Megashock take this dragon while they can do nothing really about it. There's the possibility for the steal. The barrel is actually up. Can he steal it? No, just a little bit too late. The smite coming in from Goats will go ahead and secure that.
Yeah, almost grabbing it, though. It's really easy to steal, like, buffs and Baron and Dragon as Gragas, but not quite able to hit the timing. They were zoning him out pretty decently with the Karthus wall, so he's kind of scared, you know, to get in there with that slow. So a nice little gold advantage for Megashock. We'll see how they can continue it. Ash does not have the arrow right now. Doesn't actually have the mana either, so she's going to want to recall, go buy some items, and, you know, we'll see what they do with this lane from now on.
Plus also, Warhunter, he's only level 10. That ult is not level 2 yet, so actually Smite actually deals a little bit more damage than what the barrel would. Not to say it's not impossible, and you know, ults like Gragas, also ults like Ziggs, his ult are amazing at taking objectives like that. But yeah, it is a huge matter of timing and a little bit of luck too.
Oh, but Kaltar being chased underneath the turret, the exhaust as well as the slow. Lee Sin does get the shield out of there, so burning a couple of summoners, or forcing a couple of summoners off from Karthus, they will be pretty safe there. Yorick, he is pushing down the top. He's actually making his way down bottom, though, so he doesn't want to allow them to get any early advantages. Ash getting some nice trade with Ezreal, so he can continue to farm there.
And Reborn really seems like the scapegoat here. Like every time that something's going to be going on around tower, I always see him tanking it. And his shield just also never seems to be up, unfortunately. So hopefully we'll be seeing him build a little bit of health, possibly into a Phage or something. He's got the Wriggles, so when those objectives like Dragon come back up, Acer's going to have a little bit easier time to grab it. But then again, you know, it's a matter of positioning. It's actually a matter of winning fights too, to try and go ahead and get those advantages. Solly taking a lot of damage here from Yorick here top lane. Just those ghouls are becoming a little bit too much of a pain. Steve with a flash ult down at a low pro. The Ezreal ult gets a nice little chunk, but Karthus, oh wow, the heal. The summoner heal just barely.
Oh, the turnaround. And Ash hits the arrow onto Ezreal. Lee Sin, he wants to pick up this kill if he can hit the Q. Oh, just barely not able to. But he has the slow. He has the couple auto attacks. One more ultimate, but the heal. Etnix turns it around, and so they're actually able to pick up this kill. Yes, the burst. They pick up Lee Sin.
Shield on cooldown. just could not get to Nunu. Just could not get to Nunu in time. I even see Warhunter actually just getting in position just to see if something was going to happen. But yeah, unfortunately, again, Acer not going to be able to connect on that damage.
Yeah, and so Renekton is going to have to back off. Yorick really just abusing him right now. But Renekton does have the ultimate. Oh, the steal from Gragas.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, able to steal it fairly easily.
See,
so I think Renekton is trying to bait in Yorick right now because he still has his ultimate. He wants to see if he can get Yorick to bite, maybe try and pick up the kill underneath the turret.
Yep, and also now, now Gragas, he's level 11. That is a level 2 ultimate. Does significantly more damage when you want to go ahead and steal objectives like that. Ah, wonderful throw. Beautiful. That was a work of art. It really was. But Sai actually getting a little bit too far out. Imbasheep waiting full health. The Ignite. Popping the ult. Sai's just trying to get away at this point. But the ghouls are going to be too much. And Imbasheep doing pretty well for himself now top lane.
Yeah, Sai kind of baiting himself out there. Just a little bit too aggressive. Lee Sin going to run in, but Yorick has control of that lane, so he will have to back off. Ashe is comfortable farming down bot, though, so keeping up with Ezreal, despite those early kills that Ezreal has, he is ahead of gold because of it, but even so, they're able to exchange damage very well. It is a very strong lane, so we'll see once they start getting out of the laning phase if they can start picking up kills. They have a lot of quick burst potential with the Ashe and with the Gragas as well.
Yeah, but I am consistently worried here about Reborn because those last few attempts just did not go as peachy as intended here. So, and usually when you see Lee Sin start to fall behind, sometimes you'll actually see them start to build up some levels in the shield. Just so at the very least, hey, if I can't make something happen here, at least I can shield someone who can. And also, you can be a little bit of a better gap closer as well. But he's still actually looking to level up the wave, still wants to get a little bit more damage, and he wants to be in those fights.
Yeah, so we'll see how they can hold it off. Megashock, again, forcing a long laning phase. They're taking advantage of it. So they have a 3k gold advantage here. Nocturne is coming down to the bottom lane, though. They could force a fight with the Sona ultimate. It is up. Karthus, the ultimate, is not up for another 30 seconds, so they won't have that at their disposal.
Pushing the wave, and Steve and Etnix is go ahead as soon as it hits the tower. Giving something heavier. Meanwhile, top lane, once again, Renekton being abused by this Yorick, will not be getting away.
So they get the kill, but Lee Sin has gone in the bottom lane. The Ezreal ultimate, Lee Sin kicking into Sona, almost picking that up. The knockback, and Lee Sin will get out of there, breaking that fear from Nocturne.
But meanwhile, in the mid lane, going to go real quick and see what was happening there. But you got Cowtard actually wandering back on into lane. And you got Gragas looking to do dance. Still has that blue buff. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the Ignite. Oh, just a tip right there.
Just doing a little dance.
Doing a little dance.
But yeah, we'll see, how they can continue to pressure this. Megashock, because of the advantages they do have in the bot lane, they could maybe take down this turret with Nocturne there if they decide to go for it. Nocturne is ulting in onto Ashe, though, trapped underneath the turret, and they knew he was there. They, saw him previously with Lee Sin, but not quite taking the defensive measures that they needed to.
Yep. So with that, Megashock is going to go ahead and back a little bit. Buy up. Actually, how much money does Ezreal have? Quite a bit. Just has enough. Just enough to finish that Trinity Force. Perfect timing on that one. So we'll see. Actually if they can go into. Might actually even be able to go into some of that Guardian Angel play we've been seeing. 4K lead. It's pretty decent enough. I think it would be too bad of a choice.
Yeah, no, it would be okay. It would protect against some of the burst damage that Acer has. He wouldn't have to worry, quite so much. But generally speaking, he's going to be pretty safe. But we've seen, them going for the GA pretty early. So that's definitely, a nice call if he decides to go for that. Sai, once again, just can't even lane against Yorick. He is doing a nice job of keeping up in farm. So he's able to clear out some minion waves very quickly, then get back. The AoE farming for Nectin in that respect is very nice, but we'll see, how they can continue this lead. It is a 4K gold lead for Megashock right now. Etnix starting to do, some work onto Ashe down the bottom lane. With all the kills that he has, he's ahead in goal. It allows him to be more aggressive.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is that there's so much damage coming from Yorick, though, and the ult, Yorick, it's going to be no issue to just go ahead and tower dive. It shouldn't be really too much of a problem. But granted, you do have a lot of presence from Reborn all over the map when he can, but it's not a whole lot. DFG coming on in, a lot of damage. Deja Vu coming from Warhunter, forcing the flash on out. Barrel!
Oh, he's got it!
Got it! Wow. Should have kept moving, Karthus. Should have kept moving.
Yeah, you don't want to sit there when you got a barrel coming at your face. So Really nice job. The Deathfire's grasp on Gragas. We've seen a lot of different builds. The Ashe arrow,
There
though,
we
right
go.
after the Sona ultimate. They have the turnaround. Lee Sin with the kick into Ashe is able to pick up that kill, but Etnix is able to grab that as well. Yorick is down here. They're trying to pursue them. Etnix gets off some range damage, but they will back off. They will regroup. And so actually, Acer, they're going to be going for this dragon here. It is a 4v3 advantage for them.
Yep, it's just a matter of actually going on in and get it. But here's the thing, though, and here's the problem. You do have a pretty fed Yorick, who also still has that ult. So even if Acer does go in for that dragon, Yorick just pops the ult. Is like, what man disadvantage? What's that? We got another guy right over there. We have 2 Ezreals. It's no big deal.
Yeah, Ezreal and his twin sister.
Ezreal and his twin sister, yes.
Yeah, so they will back off. This actually opens up a nice opportunity for Megashock, though, where they could maybe go for the dragon with Nocturne and with Karthus. They can take it fairly easily with Yorick being here as well, having a 3-level advantage over Renekton. He gets off the stun, but he's got to get out of there. Imbasheep going for that kill. Will be able to chase him out, and here's Gragas trying to stop. Actually does steal the dragon this time, but he's way out of position. They're going to try and pick him up. The Nocturne, they are able to grab it with Karthus as well, and they have to retreat as quickly as possible because Megashock is easily winning this exchange.
The belly slam was just not enough for Warhunter. He also got the Karthus ult coming in. Front line a lot more damage. Saw is very low. Reborn could also get caught here. Nice wall of pain coming from Countard. The shield was not up. Just could not clear that gap. And there you go. There's another kill there for Megashock. So with that, even though Acer got the steal with those 2 kills, Megashock just essentially made that fight even.
Yeah, and they're actually going to go for a fast Baron here. They have the damage to do it with Nocturne, with Karthus.
Oh, plenty of time.
They can take it very easily, so it's going to drop fairly quickly. Gragas isn't here to steal it. There's Nunu, but there's not a lot that he can do unless he goes in for... No, he doesn't have the flash, so no consume going to be coming.
If they allow him to wander on in and eat it, then that's all on Megashock's bad. But they have plenty of time. They had the damage. Baron secured here from Megashock on the 22nd minute, and they're still all relatively healthy on top of the regen that the Baron buff is going to be giving them, but they've got quite a bit of gold to spend. They might as well just go ahead, play it safe, go on back. Karthus can actually just go ahead and buy himself a needlessly large rod if he really wants to. Oracle's for Sona, Oracle's for Steve. It's a pretty good call, actually.
Yeah, so we'll see how Acer can turn this around, but Ashe not done the Infinity Edge yet. They need her to finish those items, for that damage, but we'll see how they can kind of hold it off. They have a couple of really strong mid-game champions that even with this gold disadvantage help them keep into it. The slow from Karthus, he's actually chasing down Gragas a little bit. He is going to be fine, but I don't know, Acer, or Megashock, they're just so far ahead at this point. Ezreal is so strong. He's going to be able to zone off Ashe a little bit down in that bottom lane, or at least stop her from, being quite as successful with farming. Though so far, Ashe has done a nice job keeping up with him, but I think the big concern is having Ezreal be so strong with how survivable he is, and then the fact that Karthus is going to be just devastating their front line. Yeah. It's going to be tough for Acer to deal with.
Also, not to mention that Enix is actually pushing successfully against... in a 2v1 situation, he has the ult, and that ult as well on a relatively short cooldown as well. So you can just go ahead, stay in bot lane, continue the pressure, and keep Ashe and Nunu away from the rest of the team, and allow the rest of Megashock to just go ahead and do whatever the hell they like.
Yeah, so Acer, they will go back to farming. They need to just kind of keep on holding off these lanes. They get the mid tower, so that's definitely nice for them. Gragas can kind of move around a little bit, but they'll probably continue to sit in their lanes. None of them are really being aggressive about grouping up and pushing. They need to just kind of wait off until they want to go for like those Baron objectives and whatnot. And that's really in Megashock's favor because they're already winning most of the lanes other than mid lane. They can just continue to pressure them. Yorick in particular can just sit top all day and continue to shut down Renekton.
Yeah, Acer, you see Ashe, you see Nunu, they can't even recall at their own tower. They actually have to step back because the threat is always there. And even now, Renekton, 3-level deficit there with the Yorick, but here comes Greg. He's going to try and do something here, but the Astro coming on in. Steve is actually going to be going down, but Acer still looking to try and fight this. Warhunter, can he get it? Yes.
Yeah, the double kill, but in the meantime, Nocturne with the engage is able to pick up the kill into Ashe, and after forcing them back off the turret, they're able to take down 4 members of Acer. So just huge advantages for Megashock. They can push down this mid turret. Karthus will be able to take that. Bot turret's going to go down as well, so they're going to have that having that global presence. But for Yorick to be able to 2v1 is just devastating for them.
Yeah, and for now, for a very long time, Lee Sin, he's on his own defending. The Cheese stands alone, while Countard just goes ahead, takes out the mid turret, no problem.
The Cheese stands alone?
The Cheese stands alone. He is the Cheese at the moment. at the moment.
What is that? What is that from?
It's old like kids game. Like,
Oh, okay.
Like elementary school, like level. Cheese stands alone. Never. No.
No, I don't. I don't
Okay.
remember the cheese.
Never mind. Remember, food.
I was thinking like
food is a very common topic with me. You know this.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking like you were going with like the funky cheese man, like the gingerbread man. Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the funky cheese man. I
remember
I didn't
that.
know where you were going with it, but
Yeah. Anyway, either way.
they do back off, and
Yep.
Megashock with that Baron, they are just so incredibly strong right now, having the 9K gold lead.
You do have a Baron buff. It's going to be Baron buff has actually got about 30 seconds left there. So with this Megashock, they can just go ahead, still get their push on here. And with that, they still have a fantastic advantage. How much in gold? 9K. It's huge.
Yeah, no, it's very strong right now. So, I don't know. It's going to be very difficult for Acer to hold this off. But they do have nice wave clearing capabilities, so they can stall off a little bit. You know, when Megashock tries to come in. But with Yorick can actually create those ghouls to tank for a little bit, so they can push down the turret. They get the outer turret.
Nice.
So we'll see if they continue to pressure this. A big thing for Acer right now, though, is they can stall because Megashock doesn't want to fight underneath their turrets. They don't want Karthus to just dive into the back line and he needs to dive in the team fights, but if he's diving onto their turrets, that's going to be just really hard for them.
Baron should be coming back up around 28 something there. So you got about 3 more minutes for Megashock to just go ahead. They can still kill quite a bit of time. And they may actually just be refocusing their attention here down in the top lane. And we mentioned before the pushing power coming in from Ezreal. Ult is still up. You can just actually shove it right down the lane and allow the rest of Megashock to just go ahead and follow in suit. You got Lolpro waiting there in the bush. And Acer, they're looking to stand their ground. They want to try and defend this as best they can. You got no one else really anywhere in the map. It's just all 10 members of the game here in top lane at this tier 2. You got the Ash Arrow nicely shot down onto the Ezreal right there in the back line, but you got a nice huge clump of AoE here right in the middle of the fight. Coutard does get the quick kill down onto Ash, double kill down onto the Nunu as well.
Absolutely obliterated.
Everyone just melted.
And that's the big thing is Karthus is just so strong at this point. Is that a surrender? I think that no, never mind. That was you moving the camera.
That was me.
Megashock's so strong at this point. Karthus in particular.
Yeah.
The AoE is just so nasty, and being able to flash
That's
in.
the
There is the surrender. Flashing into the back line, just able to absolutely decimate Ash. It was so devastating. Like there wasn't a lot that Acer could do at that point. They forced the fight with the Ash Arrow. They probably needed to play a little bit more defensively, sit back and allow Megashock to force a bad engage maybe, or if they could pick off Karthus outside of the team. But Karthus with the Yorick combo and how far ahead he was, it was just really difficult for them to deal with.
Oh man, look at Ezreal, look at Karthus, look at all of that farm. That's huge. That is absolutely huge.
Yeah, no, they were very fed at that point.
And I'm surprised, man. I'm still reeled back about how far Yorick just completely took command of that lane.
Yeah, no, he absolutely
Huge.
obliterated top lane. Saw he had almost no chance from a very early stage. He was able to take control of it.
Man, it's just it's odd too, man. It's really weird to see a team like Acer, a team that made it into the regional finals there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, because I've mentioned it before, Megashock, when they were in the finals of our last qualifier, they're like, oh man, we're up against M5, we have no chance, I don't think we're ever going to make it. It's like, dude, these guys, they got the skills. They can definitely make these plays happen. And with M5 already qualified, their next opponent, though, because remember, now Megashock is actually going to be playing the winner of Solid Supreme and SK.
Yeah.
So whoever wins, that's
M5 Mini.
M5 Mini.
That's SK now. Well,
I think
everyone talks about how they trained with SK
Yeah.
in order to beat CLG, and how M5 was like SK is going to beat CLG, so SK's now M5 Mini.
I think we'll see if we can't get Ocelot's approval for that to see if he's okay
Probably
with
not.
that.
That's not going to happen. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're very strong teams. Megashock has looked very strong in the past.
Yeah.
But definitely another nice win under their belt. Acer, we'll see how they can continue to do, and they're not going to be part of the Season 2 championship or any of that, but they can continue to try and strive for that Season 3 dominance.
And with the EU side of things for our qualifier here for IPL5, we have less teams in the EU qualifier than we do in the NA. So the first round fights for the EU side are all going to be top tier, very entertaining matches like we've seen here. And actually, if you come back tomorrow, we actually got the team formerly known as Existence, now known as Smart People, going up against Eclipsia Solaris.
Okay,
That's
cool.
going to be interesting. I'm gonna
Yeah,
like to
that'll
see
be fun.
that.
We saw Fnatic versus Existence a couple of weeks ago. That was a fun match.
Yeah.
It was decently close match, but really some nice play from Fnatic. They're able to win that, but
Yeah.
we'll see how those two teams can do.
And also, if you're around, come back tonight. What time is it? 1:45. We got about
3 hours.
About 3 hours coming on in. We're going to be back with the first NA match for qualifier number 3 for the for IPL5 here. Monomaniacs Ultimus versus Team -9. -9 being our only non North American. You're coming from Colombia, so willing to play on the ping, willing to play. They've been in a lot of our qualifiers, a lot of our tournaments, and finally we get to see them here on stream. But for that though, hey, Megashock going to be moving on in round of 8, and we are done here for now. So hey, we will see you guys next time, and remember, Facebook.com/IGN Pro League. Same thing with Twitter, and you also that's our Twitters. That's our Twitter.
It is our
handles.
Twitters,
Yeah.
so go check it out. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Definitely some nice matches. Megashock looked really impressive. Acer did too,
Yeah.
but not quite able to turn it around. So, yeah, we'll take a look at that, and we'll be back for the rest of the week.
Hey, we'll see you guys in 3 hours, and until then, later.